Quick heads up, everyone. I'll be giving this bike away. Stay tuned to find out how you can win. I'll explain how later in this video.
Hello everybody, I'm back in the shop with a beautiful specialized hard rock that I bought a few months back. I bought it from the original owner. I did not document the teardown for a couple of reasons. One, space is sometimes tight around the shop here and bikes are easier to store when they're all apart. Secondly, I knew I'd be totally customizing this bike, changing a lot of the parts, the original parts, to something else, so I didn't document the teardown. While we're on the subject of customization, I get quite a few comments on how I shouldn't, change the original parts. I should keep them all. I should keep these bikes all original, so on and so forth. But let's face it. While these are great bikes that we all liked and loved and grew up with, they're totally irrelevant as mountain bikes in 2025. So the way I look at it, why not repurpose them? And why not turn them into something useful again? That's why I convert them to one by. They're easy to use. They make great city bikes, great commuters. And then you have the pleasure of riding something vintage, something that's 30, 40 years old. There's a certain kind of pleasure in that. For me anyways. So, as usual, I'm going to bring you guys in for a closer look at the frame. And then we'll go through the parts that I chose for it. So it's a beautiful dark blue satin finish. All the decals are intact. There's only one little scratch on one of the decals on the other side. I'll show you guys. Where is it? Right here. That's the only scratched decal. Other than that, a few little very minor scratches here and there, but it looks pristine. It's in mint condition. The decals on the forks, no corrosion anywhere. Yeah, it's a great little bike. So because of the dark satin finish on this bike, I think high polished aluminum parts are going to go great. They're going to make a nice contrast. These are the brakes that it came with, which I'm going to polish. I found a derailleur crankset that I have already polished the left side for another build. So I'm going to finish up the right side here, polish that up. I found a Shimano STX. It's got that smoke colored body, which almost matches up to the finish of the frame. And once I polish the rest of this up, that's going to make a nice contrast. I found a nice slingshot stem. I'm going to polish that up as well with these bars. My go-to brake levers that I use on most of my builds. I may polish up just the lever part again to go with a bit of a contrast here. Just a simple 7-speed shifter. The seat post, I'm not sure. I want to have a high polished seat post as well. I think that's going to go really well with the rest of the parts. But I found the seat post, which I love, but I don't want to touch this seat post. I want to keep it all original. So I may have to find another seat post. But that's about it. These are the parts. And I think that's enough talk. Let's start building this bike. So we're starting off with the brakes here. Let's take everything apart. So just finished polishing all the brake parts. The calipers came out great. And I also polish all the hardware. It doesn't take much. Just takes a few minutes, but the difference is well worth it. So those are all ready to go, ready to be assembled. So we're gonna do the rear derailleur now. It's an STX. Quite dirty, but I'm sure it's gonna come out really good. I wasn't gonna take it this all apart, but it's gonna hard for me to get into to the little small areas when I'm polishing it. So I think I'm gonna take it apart. It's quite a bit of work, but I think the end result is worth it. Plus, it makes it a whole lot easier when you're actually polishing it. So, and this gives us a chance to put some grease in here, clean this all out. Okay, let's give this a polish. Take out this little seal here. There we go. Okay, it's time to do our cranks. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I had already started polishing this set of the set of cranks, yeah, for another build, but I decided to go with something else on that build. But anyway, so the left one is done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the right one. Starting, this isn't too badly scratched up, just a little bit of shoe rub. So there aren't any deep marks or anything on this crank. So I'm gonna start with a 1000, then 1500, 2000, 2500, and then finish it up on the buffing wheel. We're of course gonna lose our labeling, but that's part of the part of the process. So here we go. We're gonna start with 1000. And then, like I said, work our way up. Of course, we're going to use some water. So I found a seat post that'll fit, but it's pretty scratched up. I don't know if the camera is picking that up. I think so. The thing about seat posts is that you can't really go too deep when you're sanding these down. I mean, if it was anything else, you can sand down the scratches and polish it up nice. But because it has to obviously fit within a certain tolerance into the seat tube, you can't really go too deep. But I think I'm going to take a chance. This fits a little tight anyways, kind of on the tight side. So I think if we sand it down a bit, it's gonna be fine. So let's do that. So the seat post actually came out better than I expected. Almost got all the scratches out. I could get them out, but I don't think it's necessary. It's the difference is like day and night. I'm happy with it. I'm just gonna give it a one quick final hand polish, and it's done. So, as far as the bottom bracket goes, this is an older style cup and cone type of bracket, bottom bracket, if you will. I was planning on changing it because I wasn't sure how my chain line was going to be with the new set of cranks that I'm going to use. But I just checked the chain line and it lines up absolutely perfect. I kind of got lucky. So I don't actually technically have to change the bottom bracket. I don't have to alter it in any way. And I think I'm going to use the old one because I'm, quite sure it's in really good shape. It just needs to be opened up and cleaned up and greased up again. One thing I want to mention as far as the chain line goes, when I'm doing it, and I don't measure it, I just do it by eye. But whenever I'm doing it, I do make sure that I put on the set of cranks that I'm going to use and I tighten it up so that the crank lines up. The crank is going to be exactly where it's going to be when the bike is built up. When you tighten up the crank, depending on the axle and the type of crank, they do go inwards quite a bit. Again, it depends on the bottom bracket and the crank, but sometimes you're off just by a little and you're contemplating whether you should change anything or not. But if your crank is where it's gonna be once it's all buttoned up, then that helps you make a better decision as far as the chain line goes. So I had this crank on here tightened up, and it lined up perfect. I'm happy with it. So I'm just gonna open up the bottom bracket, clean it up, put some fresh grease in there, and away we go. Let's hope it's not too tight and we can get it with our universal tool here Um, of course not. Okay, we'll do it the other way. Okay. Let's see if our other tool fits this. Fits the cup. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, it's very clean, pretty dry. Oh, look at that grease on there. Not even dirty, but we'll put some more grease in there for sure. And I want to make sure that the fixed cup is not stuck. So I'll remove that as well. See if we can get this one by hand. Actually, oh yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I think this bike sat in a shed most of its life, in a covered shed. It's been great actually. Everything has been going smooth. It's clean, but there's absolutely no grease on these threads. So let's take a look at the headset. It's probably going to be the same story in very good shape, but I want to open it up anyways. We have to take out this cable stop because the stem I'm going to use has its own cable stop here. So we're going to have to replace this with a washer. These washers here, you want to be careful because they usually have a little notch on them and oftentimes they turn. And if you start undoing this, it might just, if that washer, that little notch on the washer has turned like it has on this one, you might score your threads. So you want to be careful. I usually just I back off a little bit with this adjustable cup just to separate the washer. And then I'll turn it around. I want to be careful here. I don't want to mark up this headset because it's in pristine condition. Just want to grab the washer by itself and turn it, bring it to the notch, then we can pull it out. There we go. Yeah, as expected, very clean, just a little dry. We'll take care of that. Okay, so a quick final look at the parts before we start the assembly. The bottom bracket, the headset all cleaned up, the rear derailleur all polished, cranks polished, chain ring mounted, the seat post, the brakes are ready to go, polished up the stem, shifters, brake levers. We're missing the handlebar, but it's here somewhere. And I'm going to decide on the saddle anyways once the bike is done. So, time for assembly. So as if cantilever brakes were enough of a pain to adjust, these ones don't have the adjuster screws. So what you have to do, you set the tension by this right side caliper here. You have to undo this screw, loosen this up, and move the whole thing over to add more tension, or move it over to the inside to release tension. And that's how you adjust these brakes. But we'll worry about that when we get to that part. Right now, just installing them. And the best thing you can do really at this point is sort of do it by feel. So I've got this one in the middle here. And as you can see, well, this one doesn't even have, I didn't tighten this one enough. So we'll tighten this one up. And you kind of sort of do it by feel. They feel pretty much equal. And then, you know, when the cable's installed, we'll do the minor adjustments, the fine tuning then.
Before we wrap this up, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching and supporting the channel. To give something back, I'm giving this bike away to one subscriber. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and leave one comment about the bike, the build, or just the channel in general. I'll be picking the winner on January 15th from the comments in this video. I'll explain the giveaway details and options in my next video, but for now, all you have to do is to subscribe and comment in this video. And again, just to be clear, anybody in any country can win. Going forward, if this works out and everyone's happy, I'll be giving bikes away randomly on the channel. So if you ever want a chance to win, it makes sense to subscribe and turn on notifications. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you sometime next week with the next build.